man, there's so much stuff that I've got so many questions, but I'm super excited. This is like freedom. This is like you're taking rights back just for being a human. That's incredible. Welcome. This is going to be a new a subject matter, but it's absolutely vital that we start to get information on the American state national assemblies. Now, this is literally what our rights are. They're there. We just got to take it. But I'm learning as much as everybody else is. And I've got a couple of absolute freaking brilliant experts here. And I want to introduce them. Diane Kaiser. Kaiser?
Yeah, I like laser.
I like it too. It sounds powerful and direct. I will Kaiser you. Okay, pro soccer player turned functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, courage coach, holistic beauty expert, and founder of the Truth Tribe. She's a member of the National States Assembly of Arizona, leading the way for others to seek out their personal power, speaking through the inner truth. Also, author of a book talking about how killer breast, how those can have a toxic, negative, detrimental effect to your body, the processes. Now, Dennis Nill is a previous sheriff of Ohio who served 6 years before running for president of the United States back in 2012. I've already apologized to you. Had I known, you would have got my vote.
Well, that's what everybody tells me. If I'd have known, when you try to advertise, and I says, I tried to tell you from the beginning, but nobody listens.
But you go 2020, I'm getting you, or 2024, I'm putting you in there right in. He currently serves as Justice of the State, Sheriff of Yavapai County and Arizona State Chairman, recorder and coordinator for the Arizona Assembly, leading the way for others to reclaim their sovereignty, Thank you so much. I cannot express how important this is. Because, and this is for everybody, if you feel lately, particularly in the last year, I mean, even before 2020, our rights have been slowly eroded. And I thought being an American that we had certain rights that couldn't be separated. Now, we want to hold this to a half hour, but I've got 6 questions here that I want to get started. But thank you for being here. This is going to make a difference in absolutely everybody's lives.
It's our intention too.
Okay, now this one, question 1. What is the factual history of the United States and how do we get here?
Diane, are you going to take that or am I?
Oh, no, you go for it, Tim.
Okay, the factual history of the United States. Everything was going well until the Civil War. And everybody thinks that the Civil War was a conflict between the North and the South over slavery and so on like that. Well, it wasn't. It was about corporations. It was a corporate war, just like all of the other wars that the United States has been involved with. It all started there. And after the Civil War, they never went back and formed the Federation of States. The British territorial came over and they started putting in their own government. They never told the people that it had to be reconstructed after the war. So since then, Britain has been putting in their agents and their, governments or whatever. The government that we have now does not belong to us. They're a foreign government. They don't even belong on our soil. Attorneys, and they're the worst. They work for the Queen. Anytime you get an attorney, they're there to screw you out of as much money as they possibly can. And they always tell you, hey, we're here for you, but it's total opposite. They're here to gouge you for as much money as they can possibly get. They're trying to keep everybody in America broke. That's why the so-called government, we call them the de facto, is totally foreign. In fact, most people don't know this, but the elections on November 3rd of this past year, whether Donald Trump or Joe Biden became president, on November 5th, the municipal corporation that they were being elected president for was liquidated. So they would have been president for 2 days. So it's all a scam what's going on now.
Now, what do you
There-
mean? But what do you mean that it was liquidated?
The United States was liquidated. It's a corporation. And we also have the United States of America, territorial. They are in bankruptcy. So they're both corporations. The United States, Inc. That's what the president of the United States runs for. He's running for president of a corporation. That'd be like you and I going out and say voting for Burger King to who's the top dog at Burger King or McDonald's. We're voting for people of a corporation to run that. So it's all a scam. They have no money, none. The 160 trillion in debt is owed to we, the people. We are the owners of the land and soil. Everything that is here, we have paid for through our supposedly taxes. Okay. You don't have to pay taxes. Taxes are voluntary. It's all a scam, just like this COVID thing. It's a total scam. It's all to hide the fraud of the elections to get Trump out, and they wanted him out bad because he's draining the swamp.
Well, we got to get in. I mean, this part here is on YouTube, so there's a lot of censorable topics that bloody I want to get into. I mean, big time.
We'll last 2 minutes.
And so when we talk about paying taxes, we're all taught that you've got federal and state income taxes, and I know those were initiated mainly to fund some of the wars, and that it wasn't there before. But what if you just stop paying? Doesn't the federal government like take stuff? And
only if you're a federal employee. Are you a federal employee?
No.
Then you don't have to pay taxes. It's in their code. Taxes are voluntary. You do not have to pay taxes.
Wow.
Period. And they don't go for fixing streets and all that different stuff. The everyday things that you buy are being taxed. That's what goes for fixing of the infrastructure and everything else.
So
the income tax is a total farce just to fill their pockets.
I wanted to add to that the reason why I took this movement so seriously is because if the money that I was paying taxes into the system were to go to social welfare, were to go to support health being taught in schools, health being taught to different communities, for our roads, our everything infrastructure, then of course I'd do my part. And this is every single person I talk to is now questioning paying taxes because they're going, wait a second, the money that I'm paying is not really going to the things that I thought they were going to. And now they're actually flipping this power struggle on saying that you have to get whatever it is for travel. We can't say certain words on here, but the main reason I went sovereign is because I wanted jurisdiction over my own temple and to say, you can't tell me what to put in, on, or around my body because I own my own body and God is the only person that owns me.
I love the term that you just said, you get sovereign. So I thought that we had that sovereign ability where, I mean, I was raised that we had rights that couldn't be separated, inalienable rights. They had the right to, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, that those were guaranteed. And the fact that last year, my rights have been taken away.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And they've been dwindling ever since. They started with the birth certificates. The birth certificate is a bond. That's when they make you a dead entity. They make you a corporation. So you are now an American state citizen. You belong to the de facto government, and they can treat you however they want, as you can see by what's going on. But as you renounce that and get out of their system, that's the sea jurisdiction, that's maritime. Okay, it's run by the Pope and the Queen. The land jurisdiction is the live men and women that are on the soil, and you have to change they call it a political status. All you're doing is you're denouncing your right to be a U.S. citizen. U.S. citizens have no rights. The constitutions are contracts, okay, to keep the corporations in check. But they just want to throw them away. You've heard Biden before saying, the Constitution is just another piece of paper. Okay, yeah, it is when you want to just rule over the people. And they consider us slaves because we are a corporation and they treat us accordingly.
So
But
now,
as a man and woman, they can't do that.
now, Dennis, I've heard that before, that that when you're born, the birth certificate, like it almost indentures you to the corporation.
Right.
How, I mean, this isn't one of the questions. I know we're going to get into this, but Diane, I know that you actually have a card that says you are a sovereign human, even though that I thought everybody was.
Yeah,
That,
and I'll share this with you guys. This is an ID. I was coming back from Mexico and traveling, and I got pulled over for speeding in the middle of nowhere, right at the border of Mexico and Arizona. And this was sitting, my book was sitting on my chair. And the cop that pulled me over had me roll down the window and ask for my license and registration. And I said, well, I just went sovereign, and so I don't have that. I do have my old license plate. And I showed him my old license plate with my 2019 California plate, because I haven't paid car registration since then, because we don't have to when we're sovereign. Because we are now sovereign. Because this land is your land, this land is my land. You remember that song we sang as kids, right? Where did that go in the school system, right? So he pulled me over and he said, oh, where did you come back from? I told him, oh, I'm coming from Mexico getting some treatments because I had my breast implants removed. I was getting some PRP and stem cell. And he said, oh, is that your book? And I said, actually, I wrote this book and I'm still working on repairing my body. And then he asked for registration, all those things. And my plate says, it actually says that there it is right there. So that's what my car has on it, is that plate. Thanks, Dennis. Yep. And so you can see on there that says private automobile not for hire. So when he pulled me over and he said, do you know why I pulled you over? And I said, no. And I was just like listening to a podcast. And he said, well, I pulled you over because you're speeding. So he just took my information, went to his car, came back and had this. I'm not going to write you a ticket. I'm just going to write you a warning. They cannot detain you. They cannot write you an issue of anything for you to pay for anything in any court, because you are no longer a slave in their system. So this does work. And there's a lot more proof where that came from.
Okay. Am I the only one that just got goosebumps, or you guys are familiar with this?
Well, we're familiar with it.
Oh my God. Okay. We gotta get there. I mean, you've got like 5 subjects there that I want to get into big time. Right? Okay. But to honor Kat, because I want to keep this, because there's so much stuff I'm learning. And I mean, I've only had about 3 hours worth of research on this, and I'm a researchaholic.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So
You're in
all this
now.
Stuff, dude, I already feel like it. I feel like I'm mainlining information.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to recover. Okay. So this stuff on the surface sounds bizarre and amazing, but what is the American State National Assemblies?
The American State National Assemblies, it was started back about 20 years ago by Anna von Reitz. You can go to her website, annavonreitz.com, and check out all the different webinars and things that she does. And she posts different letters every day. She's been serving the Pope. Noticing them, and the Queen and the Lord Mayor of London and all of these, the high courts, the president, Congress, Senate, everyone. And she got the only way to get our sovereignty back is to get back on the land and soil, because on the land and soil, we own everything. We own all of the corporations. Okay. In fact, we can start pulling their charters if they are hurting anybody or anything or the environment. And most of their charters have been issued illegally. They have to be chartered by the sovereign people of America. And as we are coming on board, as you know, more and more corporations are getting carried away. They do what the heck they want, and they don't care. They fine you. They try and throw you in jail for the stupidest things. And so she started that, and to do that, we had to populate all of the states, because that's the way it was run before, back in the 1800s. It was from the people on up, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It starts at the county level, the township level, and the cities, and then into the state, and each state is its own sovereign nation. So believe this or not, but back in November, of 2020, all of the states have finally been ratified as states. Most of the Western states were still territories.
What,
They
in
were
2020? I thought it was,
2020
wasn't it like
November.
1849 that California joined the Union?
Well, sure, they joined the Union, but as a territory. They were never ratified legally. So we finally did it, brought the states together. Every state voted on it. And the beginning states, like the Eastern Coast where the colonies were, they were the first states. And the rest were left to be ratified as time went on, but they never ratified it. So we got called the assemblies together. Every state, there's an assembly, and they voted to ratify and make every state of the Union a state officially.
What
And that
about
was
like,
done November 2020.
what about like Hawaii, Alaska, even though they're not continental?
Right. Yep. They're still states of the Union now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch more that I want to ask. Like these state assemblies, they're not. It's not Newsom that's in charge of California, or is it just a state assembly? Because well, who's in charge of the
Well,
American state national assemblies?
well, the Federation's actually in charge, okay, which gives us the authority. Well, the authority comes from the people, okay, but the Federation brings together and issues the assemblies to be in session. Okay, because it all started from the people. Anytime something happened in a county, it was taken care of in the county. Then it went up to the state, and it was voted every state. And then from the states, they went to the the government, which is supposed to listen to the people. They don't listen to the people. They pour tons of money into their, funds and so on to get elected, and then they totally ignore you. They're not our representatives. Here, being an American national, when someone's voted into a position and they start messing up, guess what? They're yanked right out of there, and there's another vote. There's no if, ands, or buts, or, well, we got to see this, or we got to question that, the long red tape rigmarole of the government. So, yeah, the government is run by the people.
Now, you just said, okay, Diane, you said sovereign citizen, and Dennis, you said American national.
Right. Same thing.
I know the verbiage is super important because
Right.
most everyone would say they're a U.S. citizen.
Correct.
Okay. And so that verbiage is completely different. It gives you a different designation. Now, but again, I want to get into that, but that's a little bit more detailed
down the road.
down the road. Okay. So I mean, just if you're watching this on YouTube, know that we're going to delve into all the questions. I'm just giving questions that are popping up into my head that I want more details on, because it sounds like real. It resonates with my soul that we have individual rights. Now, what are the I know they can't be taken away. I like that idea.
Exactly.
Now, what are the current developments that are happening within the assembly?
The current developments there, all of the states are up and running. Like I said before, each state is its own nation. So the counties, they start forming the assemblies as we keep bringing more American nationals and or state citizens. That's sovereigns of the counties, and they populate the county. So we get the courts going, we get the sheriff up and going, especially if the sheriffs are de facto. Most of them are incorporated so that they could get money from the territorial government. All right, but their oath is to the people. They are the chief law enforcement officer of each county, whether Joe Biden likes it or not. In fact, the county sheriff can tell any law enforcement officer, whether it's the Treasury Department, whether it's the CIA, whether it's the FBI, whether it's ICE, anybody, they can tell them to get out of their county.
Wow.
That's how much power the sheriff has. And there are more and more sheriffs coming up in each and every county that are being populated, but you have to have the people to do that. And we're trying to bring the people home. And when they finally realize that they're living in a nightmare being a U.S. citizen because the corporations have complete control over you, when you become a national or sovereign, as we say, an owner of everything that's here, because the United States is here only by the people. And
Right.
that's what the assemblies are. It's for and by the people.
So
And
think
we
about
we
that.
are the controlling lawful government.
Think about
Okay.
that for a minute. We have slavery or sovereignty. So you got to be a slave or you can be sovereign. And think about this quote that has been, now people who are starting to see what's really happening is, you will own nothing and be happy. And that is the next couple of years.
Mhm.
You will own nothing and be happy because you are a slave under our corporate system. Versus if you're sovereign, then you own your temple and they can't tell you what to do medically, financially, or anything.
Okay, now the next question is totally pertinent to that. And you already shown benefits that you have a license plate not issued by the corporate state.
Correct.
You have an ID not issued by the corporate state.
Correct.
Okay. And the corporate state already pulled you over and checked that. Okay, so now the next question is what is the process and direct benefits of changing your status? I mean, already you're mentioning a couple, but what's the process?
Well, the process is you go to the couple of different websites, annavonrights.com and the AmericanStatesAssembly.net. And you read through there, and most of the stuff that you will find down there will just blow your mind, because we've been lied to for 160 years. Everything that you have been living is a lie. You being a doctor, you don't need a license to practice medicine or be a doctor. Diane doesn't need a license to do what she's doing. No one needs a license. That's just another fee by the corporations to keep us in control and to gather more taxes. If you have an LLC, okay, you've just given your company to the government. They can tell you how high to jump and how far. And if they want to close you down, they can, because you are a dead entity. You are a corporation.
That's what I love about that.
Corporations cannot make laws. They're trying to by keeping us all under their thumb. Everybody broke, everybody, trying to make a living, so that we don't pay attention to what they're doing and how they're scamming us. So when you go to those two websites, you will learn so much. Well, when you go there, you'll be reading the rest of your life. So get ready for nice. It's what, if
Yeah.
you're a searchaholic, so you'll be
And the
reading for a while.
The process too, we put
Yeah.
all this stuff together in one spot. So you can go to sovereignnational.us and you could also find all the links that will take you to all the different places, because there is a lot of information, right? So we wanted to put it in one spot. And so you can find who to reach out to in your specific state or your country. All that information is there. We also have things that we can talk about in the future on how we're supporting people live, where you can ask questions like these.
So like anybody, like a doc like me in Orange County, there's going to be a local assembly that we can join and participate in and find out about how to get, a different proof of our designation. So
Yeah.
like a different license, everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, we have the whole system is set up. And one of the reasons that pushed us that far, because you have to change your status and fill out the right paperwork, and it has to be recorded, put on the public record, okay, that you are an American national and not a corporate entity. So you denounce your, birth certificate, because it's bond paper. It's a bond against your name. And your title as being, have you ever
Wow.
noticed you keep getting things in all capital letters?
And your birth
Okay.
certificate too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's a note that you're a corporate entity. So, but we have the system put up that you can record your program. You fill out the papers, that those are on the website, and it costs anywhere, because each county and state is different. It ranges from like $60 to like $200 to get the complete paperwork done with the notarization and the filing and your credential card and plates and all that stuff.
Okay.
So we have the whole system.
Is that done by like the local assemblies, or because I was reading some of them there, and Diane, I mean, you were absolutely right. paying taxes, if my taxes went to support things that I agree with, like independent thought, not drone like education, but creative education, real caring of the health, not the pharmaceutical industry sponsored symptom drug therapy. Oh my God, I'd be happier than heck. I mean, I would love to pay taxes. Okay, but and I was in my readings that the fee is minimal. It's just to cover the labor involved and the printing and the paper and the ink.
Correct.
Okay, and that people are saying, look, I can pay more for people that can't afford it. I
Exactly.
love that. I love that. That's normal because we want to help each other. I mean, you could see the compliance of the American public with the insane restrictions, and you got to bless them. I mean, they're amazing.
You guys
Now,
also, if you see anything out there where people are charging you thousands of dollars to go sovereign, it's a red flag. Just know that, because there's also a whole nother, just like anything, there's a shadow side and a light side to everything. And there's going to be people who are trying to capitalize on people who are desperate for freedom. So just know that what we're saying here is what you should see when you try to go sovereign.
Now, are there any risks or downsides to becoming a member, to becoming sovereign?
This is when Dennis first said this to me, and he goes, "No," and I went, "Oh, come on."
Come on.
Where's the catch? Come on, Dennis.
Oh my God. Okay, Diane. Yeah. Okay, you got. Yeah. If you get something for nothing, yeah, really. I don't think so.
There's always a catch. Come on, Dennis. Tell me what you told us when I said that when we all were there for New Year's Eve and we all were sovereign and
well, what's the downside? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? I says absolutely nothing. You do nothing but benefit. You no longer have to pay taxes. You no longer have to have a driver's license, register your car, have car insurance or anything. And it's backed up by the U.S. Supreme Court. And they said anyone can travel on any roadway without registration, license plates, insurance, or driver's license. Okay. So it's all there. They're just hiding all of it just to get more money from us. And for people that they want to get started in this, they can go to the AmericanStatesAssembly.net and look up under the states for coordinators. Each state has a coordinator, and they
on our sovereignnational.us too.
Yes, exactly, and they can find out who the exact person is in that. And get their papers to the coordinator. But go to that website. That way, you're getting the real deal, because there's a lot of other district assemblies that are put out by the de facto to try and deter us from becoming American nationals, because when everybody does, they don't have anybody left.
Yeah.
And who wins? The people. The people win. They control their own destiny. They control their own government. We are the lawful government of the United States and the United States of America.
Wow.
I have one thing.
So go there.
Everybody who's talking about, I get money from the government, right? If you're getting $800 checks, or if you're getting any kind of stipend, or if you're on Social Security disability, if you're getting any kind of income or pension from the government, then these are where you might lose some of that. So now we're talking about the kind of fork in the road, right? Where there's what do I lose? So Dennis, can you speak a little bit to that? Because you said it earlier, if you are relying upon the certain income from the government, that's where things do shift. And that is one of the only downfalls to going sovereign.
Right, but you can still keep your Social Security. If you're on disability, you still get that, because disability is an insurance program in case you get injured or hurt at work. You can still get that. You can still get your Social Security. You still keep your Social Security card. You can still do everything that you've done before, but now you don't have to pay taxes or register or anything because it's all a scam. You don't have to renew your licenses or anything, because we are the people, and we own everything that is in the United States. We've all paid for it over the years. Ourselves, our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents, everything. It's been paid for.
Millions and millions and millions are owed to each one of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Black market. It is insane how far this goes down, Dr. B. How deep.
Oh my gosh.
It goes.
I mean, if this was really run by the people, of the people, and for the people, would anybody trade blood for oil? No. That would be no. I vote no.
Yeah.
I want to take care of ourselves. I mean, oh my God, this is, we're gonna have descriptions and everything in here, and this is the first of a series of events, okay, that we're going to have. And some of them, I think, we're going to have to decide at what the censors will let us get away with, and then the uncensorable stuff will be on the Dr. B VIP or BitChute or library or anywhere. Okay, we're going to have links and descriptions to get into this detail. But Diane, what brought you into this?
Yeah, for me, I'm a health practitioner and I have 8 certifications in the holistic health space. And I've been studying toxins and toxicology and hormones and gut infections for 10 years now. And I have seen, just like you, Dr. V, I've seen people get sicker and sicker and sicker, no matter how much more they're doing to try to get more well. And so I'm seeing these big blocks coming. And when the things that we had to put over our face became mandatory, and I did the research and I found that 70% of our detox pathways happen through our exhale, and how very little research and how very little support was coming out from our government on how to boost our immune system. I mean, doesn't that make anybody go, wait a second, if we really were looking out for our immune system and to try to protect us from this thing that's flying around, then wouldn't they teach us not only how to block whatever thing is, but also how to build something inside? So that's like red flag number 1. I mean, among all the other things that you and I talk about on our shows, right, Dr. V? And then the second thing was, well, I mean, I've been studying this for 10 years. I've been studying the plan agendas, if you will, for a long time. So I knew this was coming, but I was hoping that we'd wake up sooner. And then the biggest thing for me is that having my dreams guide me to, they can and will come into our homes and remove us or our children from our homes if we do not submit to things that they want to inject into our bodies. And I said, absolutely not. This is the only ticket that I know to freedom, to saying no, because our culture has been taught to people please. And oh, just be nice, or just don't rock the boat. But this is my way of saying no, and it's done politely. And I'm not being a brat when I say it. I'm just saying, no, you don't own me, and I am in charge of my own temple. So when I found this out about 15 years ago, and I was a financial planner, I thought, oh, that just sounds like a bunch of rebellious, irresponsible people just not wanting to pay money. And then now it's like, wait a second, God does own me. And that is the only person I want to own me. And I'm not even a super religious person. For me, I said, the writing's on the wall. What is our ticket out of this matrix? What is my ticket to freedom? And this is the only one. And so far it has worked. And so I am proof. I mean, we could be skeptical all day long, right? Is this really working? Is this really happening? Are people just saying that? Because there's a lot of stuff you guys will find if you go do research on that on the internet. People saying, oh, they're just a bunch of rednecks and they're just trying to not do their part.
Yeah. Oh, those vitamins don't really work either. Stick with the Zyprexa. That's what you really need. Yeah. No. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And they're already planning. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Dr. B, but they're already planning the 2025 to 2028 plan that is already out there. They're already saying there's something called SPARS coming out. And then the whole simulation is out. The players who are going to come out, what they're going to do. Phase 2 is already planned. So I'm like, you know what? Before phase 2, I'm just going to have my ducks in a row. And I want to share this with as many people as possible. And that's how Kat heard this. And that's how we're here now. And thank God for the work that we have in Arizona, the sovereign freedom movement we have in Sedona that we're doing. And thank God for Dennis. Dennis is working tirelessly. He doesn't get paid for this. He's not getting paid. That's the thing, is he's doing this because his heart beats courage and freedom for this nation, because we care about this nation.
Good God. Well said. Well said. Jesus. Okay. Dennis, what started you in this?
Well, I had enough since I was about 18. I learned a lot when, I started with the sheriff's department in Cuyahoga County, Ohio. And that's when everything was turning from common law to statutory law. And people were being railroaded left and right. And because the corporations were finally getting their wheels and their gears going and in place to try and have a one world order and control everyone on this planet. Now, the United States isn't the only country in this situation. Every country in the world is in the same situation because it's all run and controlled by the Pope. We have sent notices to the Pope. He's reneged on all of his contracts, the constitutions, the Declaration of Independence, everything. They just want to get rid of everything, have everyone as slaves, kill off as many of us as they possibly can, because that way they don't have to pay us back. They owe us millions and billions of dollars, and they don't want to get rid of it. You can't take it with you when you go. So I don't know what they're even thinking, but they're not right. It's just evil. It's evil versus good. And when we talk about this to people like you, Dr. B, and Diane and Catherine, you get the tingles because we're speaking the truth.
Dennis,
because the truth will set you free.
Amen, brother. Okay, Dennis, I got to tell you, if you were talking about this in like 2-3 years ago, the majority of people would say, come on, there's a free country. We can do whatever we want. Okay, now you're getting this group that says you will be happy and you'll own nothing. It'll be one world government. It's like every conspiracy in the past, it was theorists, but now this is literally, these are people conspiring. It's not a conspiracy theorist. They're conspiring to control our lives in such a fashion that all the freedoms are gone. And
Absolutely.
that doesn't resonate with me at all.
No.
Okay. I mean, I know we're more energy than matter.
Exactly.
And this just resonates with me 110%. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to delve into this a shitload more. Okay, I mean,
now that's it. You just got us banned from YouTube.
Oh no, no. The potty mouth they'll let you get away with. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But they will not. If I said the V word, and that could
never
be,
mind. Yeah.
Or this with a G behind it. No, you can't do that stuff. Blasphemer. Yeah. Okay. I got to tell you, this has been just amazing. Dennis, do you have any final words? Because I want people to go up to the next. I want them to look at this. They've got to do research. The only way we take back this country is by us taking back the country. Okay,
exactly.
We're not going to be sitting around waiting for some knight in shining armor to come in. Would you have any final words? Just the last few seconds.
Yes, get off the couch. Quit watching the boob tube. Okay, I know they want us, and all the crap that's on TV is there to keep us void. Okay, we have to do something about it. If we don't, okay, there's a new thing coming out called passports for a certain injection. Does Auschwitz ring a bell? Yep. Okay. Yep. People got to start waking up, got to start thinking, take control of your life. If you're tired of being manipulated by every turn of the government, whether it's city, state, township, United States, whatever, get on there, get to those websites, check them out, contact your coordinator, get your paperwork up, get your assemblies moving. We need to fill the positions in the counties. We have to become stronger. We need the volume of people. We have to have backup. Okay. God. Right now, there are 30 million people who have changed their status worldwide. Okay. And it's moving like a freight train.
Dennis, so God bless you, man.
I'm
going to be meeting you and I'm going to be giving you a hug. Diane, do you have any final words? I mean, this is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I was going to add that it was 2 years ago before I removed my breast implant. And I was busting my ass, working a full practice, trying to help so many women like Kat who are coming to me going, I feel like I'm doing everything, but I feel like I'm failing at life. And tears that they can't share out there because they can't show their weakness, because they have to keep hustling through life to make ends meet, to pay their bills, to get their kids through school. We were at a turning point then 2 years ago, I said, something is going to crack, something's going to break, there's a big train wreck about to happen around the corner. I don't know what that looks like, but we humans cannot keep going at this pace. We cannot keep ignoring chronic illness and keep thinking that it's just random and because of genes. We're being taught to hustle and to set aside our emotions and to suppress our fears and to just stay at home and fear each other. What world is this if we can't connect with each other? If we're not free to hug each other? The one hormone that keeps us alive and connected to one another is called oxytocin. And the only way we can get that is if we hug each other with our hearts. That's one reason I was so excited to get my breast implants out, because I could finally hug someone's heart again and touch it. And just like aspen trees out in the forest, aspen trees are connected if they're underneath the soil in their roots. If one aspen tree dies, then so too does the whole forest. That is the turning point that we're in as a species right now. We have to get back connected. This whole stay home, save lives, everything is the opposite. Look at what the government's saying right now and what they tell us to do. Everything is inverted. This is a spiritual warfare. And right now, this is how we connect with God and come back home to our Creator.
Oh, God bless you. Now, people are going to be watching this on YouTube. Okay. And there's one person up there that hasn't said a word. Her name's Catherine. Okay. She's the one that turned me on to you guys. She's like my security person. We're partners in business. I adore the heck out of her. So if anyone's wondering why is she up there and not saying anything, I said, hey, I know this is going to be about a half hour, but could you just hang in there just for me? Because I'm talking about a subject I have no freaking clue on. So, but man, I'm so looking forward to the next interview. There's so many more questions I got. If you're watching this right now, go to the links. We're going to have them down below. Join, study, learn. This is the only way that legitimately we can get our freedoms back.
Exactly.
Okay? God bless you guys. I mean, it's been amazing.
Well, I look forward to having another webinar with you, Dr. B, and Catherine and Diane, and let's keep this thing rolling and get as many people free as we possibly can, because if we don't, it's one world order.
Yeah. And this is a legitimate way that we can get it back. Okay. And so no more victims. You are sentient beings. Okay. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine, Diane, Dennis, buddy. God bless you guys. If you can hear my voice, you are part of the resistance.